Welcome to Isabella Anywhere number 41. We're going to start off with the workout, which is a 4-time workout, a 10-minute cap, which means you have 10 minutes to complete the workout in total. We have 5 rounds of 5 squat crawl outs. We'll have our athletes demonstrate what a squat crawl out is. As you can see, Kevin is doing his squat. In that squat, then moving into a crawl out to an upper push-up position, and then back to in that squat. You can use a piece of equipment too. As you can see, Jamie has her torpedo in that bottom of the squat, putting the torpedo to the ground, crawling out, and then going back to that torpedo, and then picking it up. That is an option as well. You can use anything if you want, or just a bodyweight version would just be the air squat. Then after you do 5 of those, you're moving on to 14 alternating split squat jerks. 14 alternating split squat jerks. You're doing 7 on each leg. As you can see, Jamie is stationary in a split squat and then pressing overhead. She'll do 7 on one side and then 7 on the other. Kevin is choosing to do a backward lunge into a press once he gets into that upward standing position, and then he's alternating every single time for 14. Really, it's going to be based on what your comfort level is, what your interpretation of the exercise is, and also what weights that you actually have. After you do that, you'll go back into your 5 crawl outs, and then your movements will go back to 7 alternating split squat jerks, 5-7 for 5 rounds, and then you'll rest with the remaining time or move into the strength portion of your workout. 5 squat crawl outs, 7 each, which would be 14 alternating split squat jerks for 5 rounds. 10 seconds. moving on to the strength portion of today's workout, we have 3 parts. Each part will essentially be 2 minutes. You can operate it as in every minute on the minute, or you can go from one exercise into the next exercise without resting, and then rest with the remaining time after that. As the rounds progress, you may have to eventually make it where it is in every 2 minutes versus in every minute on the minute, because the holds are going to get progressively longer and longer. Part 1 includes 10 deadlift 2 rows. Our athletes will demonstrate what a deadlift 2 row looks like. We're in this deadlift position, deadlift it up, and then we row, and then we deadlift it up, and we row. On that row, you want to make sure your back is nice and flat. For here, you're going to want to make sure that you're using a lighter weight than you would normally use for a deadlift, as the row will become taxing and as your lower back will become tight and fatigued. After you're done with your 10 rows, you can wait for the next minute to start, or you can jump into 15 seconds of hollow holds. For your hollow hold, you want to make sure that your lower back is engaged with the ground. The easiest version is going to be with your knees into your chest and your arms straight out by your feet, as Kevin's demonstrating. And then you can alternate which foot comes in, what knee comes in, what knee comes out, to make it harder. As you can see, Jamie has her hands behind her the whole entire time, making sure that lower back is on the ground, shoulders are off the ground, thighs are off the ground, and squeezing those abs. You'll do 15 seconds of that. The reason why I say you can jump right into it is because the next time you come back to this, you'll be doing that for 30 seconds, and then 45 seconds, and then 60 seconds. If you only leave yourself 1 minute to do the 60 seconds, that means you'd have to hold it for the whole entire time. Versus, after your 10 deadlifts to rows, jump right into the hollow holds. That will give you more time if you need to rest, and it'll give you more time so you can actually finish within that 2 minute block of time. After you're done with those 2 exercises, you'll take a 1 minute rest, and then you'll move on to part 2. Part 2, you'll do 10 thrusters. That means that you're going to have your piece of equipment on your shoulder. We're going to squat and then press overhead in one smooth motion. For this, you can use any piece of equipment. You do 10 of these thrusters, making sure your chest is up nice and big, nice and tall. Knees are driving out the entire time. Heels are down on the ground. After you do your 10 thrusters, we'll move into 15 seconds of planking. We'll have our athletes demonstrate what the planking looks like. Elbows are under the shoulders in one straight line. Back is nice and flat, one straight line. Your hips aren't high in the air. Squeezing your abs, squeezing your glutes the entire 15 seconds. And as suggested earlier, every round you'll add 15 seconds. This is why I would jump right into the planks right after the 10 thrusters. Then you have 1 minute rest again, and then we have part 3. We have 10 double dumbbell snatches. If you don't have 2 dumbbells, you'll do 5 on one arm, 5 on the other. If you have a barbell, you'll just do 10 snatches. We'll take that piece of equipment from the ground or mid-shin, right directly to overhead in one straight line, one straight action, hips come through, and we're punching that sky aggressively. No bend in the elbow at the top of this snatch. Nice flat back at the bottom. We'll do 10 of those, or 5 and 5 if you only have one piece of equipment. As Jamie is going to demonstrate, with one piece of equipment, with a torpedo, you can do the 10. But if she were to have it on one hand, she would do a one-handed snatch and on 5, and then would do 5 with the other hand. After that, we'll do a 15-second semi-squat hold. You can use a piece of equipment or just hold in a semi-squat position for 15 seconds. Start in that standing position and then squat down to about midway, not all the way into a full squat, and you're holding this for 15 seconds. And then the next time you come back to this, you'll add 15 seconds again. You'll take a 1 minute rest, and you'll go back to part 1. You'll do part 1, then part 2, then part 3, again, and again, which means that you're going to do each part 4 times. The strength portion is going to take a while. but you'll be busy the whole entire time outside of those 1 minute rests. We're gonna perform one round here. Kevin is gonna go through it as an example of an every minute on the minute where he's resting during the minute. Jamie will demonstrate it where she goes in from one exercise right into the next exercise and using it as an entire 2 minute component versus an every minute on the minute. 10 seconds. Part 1, 10 deadlift to rows, 15-second hollow hold. Now we have 1 minute of rest. Next time you come back to part 2, remember you're going to increase those hollow holds by 15 seconds. Part 2 now involves 10 thrusters and then a 15-second plank. Each round you'll add 15 seconds to that plank. With your 1 minute rest, you're gonna get ready for your next component, which is part 3, which is 10 double dumbbell snatches or barbell snatch, or 5 alternating one arm snatches into 15-second semi-squat hold. Again, every round you're going to increase your semi-squat hold by 15 seconds. You can either do it as an every minute on the minute or do it as an every 2 minutes, complete the following work. You'll take a 1 minute rest, then you go back into part 1, and you'll follow that same pattern for 3 more rounds for a total of 4 rounds altogether.